Barcelona entered the semi-final with fierce determination, carrying the ambition to settle everything early. But after just a few exchanges, the entire Montjuïc stadium was hit with a cold shock. Inter did not come here to sit back and defend. They attacked first, and they did it with clinical precision. All of Xavi's initial plans were shattered instantly, and Barcelona were forced to fight back from behind. Waves of attacks followed, well-rehearsed set-piece routines, the woodwork shaking, and a goal denied by VAR had the crowd clutching their heads in disbelief. Every time Barcelona seemed to take control, Inter would shift the momentum in another direction. And when the final whistle blew, the draw did not reflect the full story. One thing was clear: the advantage still belonged to no one. Everything would now be decided at the cauldron of the Estadio Olímpic Louis Companys. And before many fans had even settled into their seats, Marcus Thuram silenced the stands. The move began with a rapid escape from pressing on the right wing. The ball was played into the center, and Thuram, instead of opting for a simple finish, produced a stunning back heel that slipped through the gap between Paul Cubarsí and Inigo Martinez, rolling into the net beyond a helpless Marc-André ter Stegen. A spontaneous moment that seemed improbable, but in reality it was a direct strike into the vulnerable space between the center-back and full-back, and it did not stop there. Inter continued to stun the home side with a second goal just minutes later. In the 21st minute, from a short corner taken by Federico Di Marco, the ball was passed to Acerbi, who flicked it cleverly at the near post. It found the feet of Denzel Dumfries, and the Dutch defender, with his back to goal, executed a spectacular overhead bicycle kick that sent the stadium into chaos, a wonder goal from a fullback. At that point, formations seemed meaningless. Inter played with steel and deadly calm, but more important was how Barcelona responded. They did not panic. They did not lose control. Instead, they rose, with the only weapon capable of breaking through Inter's iron defense: pure genius. In the 24th minute, Lamine Yamal erupted. Receiving the ball on the right flank, the 17-year-old turned his back to goal and spun around Henrik Mkhitaryan with the grace of a ballet dancer on center stage. A subtle shoulder drop, a smooth turn, and a curling left-footed strike that kissed the inside of the far post past a frozen Jan Sommer. The score was cut to 1-2. It was not just a goal that reduced the deficit. It was a moment that left the entire stadium breathless, evoking memories of what Lionel Messi once did at Camp Nou. But for Lamine Yamal, he is not walking anyone else's path. He is writing his own story. And throughout those first 45 minutes, nothing kept fans glued to the screen more than the whirlwind named Yamal, a rising star no one could stop. Despite facing tough defenders like Alessandro Bastoni and Federico Di Marco, who took turns marking him, Barcelona kept the momentum after the goal, and they were not done. In the 38th minute, Pedri chipped a delicate ball into the box. Rafinha, instead of finishing, gently headed it back. Ferran Torres arrived unexpectedly to strike cleanly and bring the score level at 2 goals each. It was a move full of technique and coordination. It did not just show the harmony between lines. It proved that Barcelona are not living off flashes of brilliance. They have structure, strategy, and depth. From trailing by 2 goals within the first 20 minutes, Barcelona came back to equalize in just 14 minutes. A first half full of courage, quality, and raw emotion, the kind of football that makes hearts race. Inter thought they had control of the match, but a few minutes of lost focus dragged them back to reality. Barcelona did not just return, they returned with the aura of a Champions League giant. The first half ended with neither side ahead, but what remained was a symphony of tactics, emotion, and chaos, a living, breathing piece of cinema. The second half began with Simone Inzaghi sticking to his original strategy. Inter maintained their 3-5-2 formation, and it continued to serve them well. In the 61st minute, just as Barcelona had regained pressure, Inter struck again. From a corner on the right wing, Denzel Dumfries charged in and rose like a center forward to head the ball into Barcelona's net. It was a perfect display of positioning, and once again it was Dumfries. The Dutch fullback had scored a stunning break. With no goals to his name in the Champions League this season, Dumfries' brace stunned the entire Barcelona defense and earned the admiration of fans everywhere. Dumfries, once a pure wide runner, had transformed into a deadly presence inside the box. But just like in the first half, Barcelona did not collapse. Only 1 minute later, from a short corner routine, Dani Olmo laid the ball back to the edge of the box for Rafinha. Without hesitation, the Brazilian unleashed a thunderous strike from long range. The ball smashed off the crossbar, hit goalkeeper Jan Sommer, and spun back into the net. A strange goal, a haunting one for Inter. UEFA recorded it as an own goal by Sommer, but every eye turned toward Rafinha, the one who fired the rocket and deserved the credit. More importantly, that was Rafinha's 20th goal involvement in the Champions League this season. If Inter had Dumfries as their wild card, Barcelona had Rafinha, the man who always found a way to make an impact at the perfect moment. From that equalizer at 3 goals each, the game turned into a tense tug-of-war. Inter pulled Dumfries and Thuram, signaling their acceptance of a draw. The second half ended 3-3, but the value of the match was never in the scoreline. It was a clash between two identities, one side with modern pressing and space control, the other with lightning-fast counters and iron discipline. And if one name must be chosen to define this epic in the purest language of football, it would be Lamine Yamal. His 24th minute goal was a masterpiece of individual brilliance. But it was only the beginning. Throughout the match, Yamal moved like a dancer on a battlefield, dribbling in tight spaces, using both feet, even dropping deep like a playmaker to launch attacks. A 17-year-old playing as if he had 10 years of elite experience. The Yamal whirlwind did not just make a difference, it is rewriting the standards for Barcelona's new generation of talent. Both Alessandro Bastoni and Federico Di Marco were left stunned in one-on-one duels with Lamine Yamal. Even Henrik Mkhitaryan, a battle-hardened veteran, had no choice but to retreat and commit fouls to stop him. It seemed like the entire stage at Montjuïc belonged to Yamal, but surprisingly, a name thought to be in a supporting role stole the spotlight: Denzel Dumfries. Starting the match as a physical wingback known for running the flank, few expected Dumfries to deliver a performance that would leave all of Europe talking. In just over an hour, he became a nightmare for Barcelona's defense. In the very first 30 seconds, he delivered a pinpoint cross for Thuram to score the opener. Then he smashed in a blistering volley to double the lead before sealing his brace with an unstoppable header in the second half. 3 goals, none of them ordinary, all of them finishes worthy of a striker. But Dumfries' value went far beyond numbers. He kept pushing forward, targeting Barcelona's weakest link, the left side, where Inigo Martinez looked most vulnerable. Dumfries became the symbol of Simone Inzaghi's football, not flashy, not noisy, but razor-sharp and ruthlessly effective. Still, playing well does not guarantee a clean sheet, and no one knows that better than Jan Sommer. The Swiss goalkeeper had one of his finest performances since joining Inter, making 8 saves, many from point-blank range with high speed and obstructed vision. Yet it was Sommer who became the unfortunate victim in the equalizer for 3-3. Rafinha's missile struck the bar, bounced off Sommer's head, and spun into the net. No technical error, no poor positioning, just a cruel twist of fate. The 3-3 scoreline resets everything. But this was no ordinary draw. It was the prologue to a war that will ignite at the Giuseppe Meazza. Inter, as always, will turn their home into a fortress. The pressure from over 80,000 fans will weigh on every touch, every pass. But that is also Barcelona's chance to prove they are truly ready. The generation of Gavi, Pedri, and Cubarsí, names carrying the hope of reviving Catalonia's dynasty, can no longer shine only at Camp Nou. They must show they have the courage to make history on hostile ground. A Champions League semi-final where the line between glory and heartbreak is not drawn by the number of shots or possession percentage, but by moments. One slip, one seemingly harmless cross, one mistimed run, all can decide the entire season. Luis Companys witnessed 6 goals. Giuseppe Meazza promises even more chaos. Barcelona survived an emotional storm. Inter attacked, burned bright, but failed to put their rivals away. And to earn a ticket to the Allianz Arena, where the spotlight awaits, there is no room left for mistakes. The real game begins now.